My name is Swanan Kelkar, and today is the first day of my year-long sabbatical. I grew up in a middle-class Maharashtrian family. Studying hard was non-negotiable, which is what I did. I studied hard, got good marks, which is why I got into good colleges. I have been a public markets investor for the past 15 years. I've been investing in public equities, and of those 15 years, almost 13 have been with Morgan Stanley. So I've been toying with this idea for almost a year now. Some time ago, maybe around the same time last year, I read an article in the Wall Street Journal, which was about a guy called Max Deutsch, who was spending 12 months doing 12 extremely difficult things. And this is very different from what I am trying to do, because I think he was just trying to attempt things which were hard. But that became a source of inspiration. That became a place from which I started thinking that could you have a structured one-year sabbatical in which you are actually trying to do 12 things which are not necessarily hard, but 12 things that you always wanted to do. One day I sat down with just a plain sheet of paper, and I asked myself that if you had full control of your time, that is, you don't have to give your time to anybody, either your employer, or you don't need to earn money, or your family commitments or whatever, what would you do? Then I asked myself that if you really wanted to do these things, is there enough evidence in the past 40 years of your life that you have at least dabbled in them in some way? Have you tried them out a bit, or have you kind of watched them or read about them? Is there some evidence that you really like those things? And actually 2-3 of those, there was no evidence whatsoever that I have ever dabbled in them. The structure that I have thought of for these 12 activities is that I'm going to have a teacher, or what I'm calling a guru, for each of these activities. And what I'm also going to have for each of these activities is kind of a finale. Is like a last day of that activity that I'm going to in some way measure, or in some way try to showcase what I have achieved through that month. But apart from that, I really am not setting myself up for any kind of fixed deliverables or fixed things to achieve. Here is a month, here is the activity that I'm going to try and do. I'm going to give it my best and see what comes out of it. So I'm really not thinking about what the end looks like. I did Vipassana recently. I went to Burma for a 10-day silent meditation course, and people asked me whether this brainwave happened during Vipassana. Again, sorry to disappoint, but it didn't really happen during Vipassana. Vipassana was in fact in preparation for these 12 months that I want to spend. I wanted to see how I behave. I wanted to observe myself in an environment which is like totally disconnected from the world that I am part of, and see how I reacted to that. But that is the plan for the next 12 months. 12 different activities with 12 different gurus, and each of them having a finale. Just to be clear, I'm not doing this out of a place of boredom or frustration. I'm not doing this because I am extremely bored or frustrated with my job. I actually love what I do. But I'm doing this from a realization that there is a much bigger world out there. There are many things out there which you can and which you should explore, and not live a life which is in a single echo chamber. All through growing up, you wanted to explore things, you wanted to explore certain pursuits, and you are told that you can do them later. And through the period of last 6-7 months, I read this great line which says that later is the place where dreams go to die. So which is why I decided that later is now. I want to take this time off to explore things that I always wanted to do, and I wanted to do it in a structured way where I'm spending 1 month each trying to do 12 different things. So having this thought in your mind is one thing, but I think a lot of people have this thought in their mind that they want to take some time off for themselves. But for me, the hardest part was broaching this subject, or asking my employer, Morgan Stanley, to give me this year off. And there I must say I'm extremely grateful to my boss as well as to the organization that they indulged this idea of mine. They said, when you come back, you will be welcome. And that is always a big relief. That is always something that you look forward to, that after this year-long expedition, as I want to call it, you will be welcome back home. The other party who was very supportive, and I must thank her for that, is the spouse, my wife Prerna. And she has been equally, if not more excited than I am about this journey. I'm lucky there as well, that had there been even a slightest doubt in her head that this is not going to work, I don't think I would have done it. So when I put this plan of mine, which is to go on a year-long sabbatical and try and do 12 different things, I put it up on LinkedIn and Twitter. And the idea was to just let the few of connections that I have know that I'm going on this sabbatical, and I'll be out of office, etc. And I was very overwhelmed by the kind of response that this post generated. I mean, it had got more than 1 million views on LinkedIn. And the amount of love and encouragement that everybody has shown for this idea is just unreal. It's totally overwhelming. And I must say that I realize now that a lot of people want to do this or something similar, but for whatever reason are not able to do it. And in one sense, they are watching me and hoping to get some sort of an inspiration from what I am doing. So over the past 7 odd days, I just feel an added responsibility now, having seen the kind of response that this has generated in what I'm trying to do. But I wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of you who have encouraged me. It just makes me much more focused, just makes me much more determined to make a good thing out of this. I'm going to write about my sabbatical experiences through a monthly column for the newspaper Mint Lounge. So please, if you're interested in what I'm doing, please do read that column. I'm also going to make a few short videos about the activities that I'm going to be doing, and I'll update them. I'll put them up mostly on Twitter and LinkedIn. So please stay connected on that space. And more importantly, wish me luck. This is uncharted territory. As I said, I'm equal parts excited and scared. And it's your encouragement which will help me overcome the fear. Thanks a lot.